Have you ever walked into a room and just felt it? That sudden silence, like every single pair of eyes just swiveled to lock onto you? It's like you've accidentally stumbled onto the set of your own personal reality show and you didn't get the memo. Yeah, that feeling? That's your brain playing some serious tricks on you. It's a psychological quirk called the spotlight effect. And trust me, you are not alone in this. Think about it. You spill a drink at a cafe, you trip going up the stairs, or you wear a shirt with a tiny stain you didn't notice until noon. And boom, your brain's internal alarm system goes off. That's it. Everyone saw. You're the headline news for the next hour. But here's the reality check we all need. Most people didn't even notice. Seriously. They're way too wrapped up in their own universe, worrying about their own embarrassing moments, their own insecurities. They're living under their own spotlight, just like you are. Isn't it funny how that works? We're all convinced we're the main character in everyone else's story, when in reality, we're just background extras in their movie. And here's the wild part. This isn't just a social anxiety thing. It's a human thing. Our brains are literally wired to overestimate how much attention we're getting. Why? It's an evolutionary hangover. Way back in the day, being noticed by your tribe for messing up could mean rejection. And rejection from the group? That was a serious survival threat. Now, it's just awkward. So let me ask you something. Have you ever replayed an embarrassing moment in your head on a loop for days, only to find out later that nobody else even remembered it happened? If you know exactly what I'm talking about, do me a favor and just drop a quick "been there" in the comments below. Let's just see how many of us are overthinking the exact same kinds of moments. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because the spotlight effect doesn't just make you feel a little nervous or awkward. It actively holds you back. It's the little voice that tells you not to speak up in a meeting. It's the hesitation that stops you from posting that video or photo you were excited about. It's the fear that keeps your hand down when you have a question. All because you're worried about what people will think, what they might say, how they might judge you. But what if they don't even care? What if they're not even watching? Think about the people you admire the most. The ones who seem so confident and put together. They probably don't have some magical immunity to embarrassment. They've just learned how to move through it. They've figured out that nobody is scrutinizing their every move nearly as much as they are. Let's play out a classic scenario. You walk into a room, you see someone across the way, you give them a big, friendly wave, and then you realize they weren't waving at you. They were waving at the person behind you. Instant, soul-crushing mortification, right? Your cheeks get hot, you want the floor to open up and swallow you whole. But here's what's actually happening. 5 minutes later, that person has completely forgotten about the awkward wave. They're already thinking about what they're going to have for lunch. Meanwhile, you're the one stuck in a mental replay loop, cringing at the memory for the rest of the day. And maybe that's the real lesson here. You're not being constantly watched and judged. You're being perceived by a whole bunch of other people who are also way too busy worrying about how they're being perceived. So, in a strange way, no one's really watching at all. And when you truly let that sink in, when you realize that fact, it's liberating. That's true freedom. That's the moment you start to live with a little less fear and a lot more boldness. Because if no one is really paying that much attention, you might as well do what you want, right? Here's a little piece of data that might just blow your mind. There was a famous study where researchers had people wear a really embarrassing t-shirt. We're talking a giant picture of Barry Manilow into a room full of other people. Afterwards, they asked the t-shirt wearers to guess what percentage of the group had noticed their shirt. On average, they estimated that about 50% of the people saw it. Half the room. Want to know the real number? It was only 25%. Exactly half of what they thought. So yeah, your brain is a drama queen. So, the next time you feel that hot, prickly sensation, that feeling like all eyes are on you, just take a breath and remember. They're not. They're really not. Everyone is just trying to survive their own moment, navigate their own insecurities, and get through their own day. But I'll tell you what is worth paying attention to. how you treat yourself in those moments of perceived embarrassment. When you trip, when you stutter, when you mess up, don't be the first person in line to roast yourself. Be the first one to laugh it off and move on. Because real confidence isn't about achieving perfection. It's about being okay with yourself when things aren't perfect. And if that hits a little deep for you, if you've been there before, overthinking that one tiny thing that probably no one else even remembers, go ahead and tap that like button. Not for me, not for the algorithm, but for you. A little nod to every single time you thought you were being judged. But really, you were just being human. Because here's the beautiful truth of it all. You're not living under a harsh, unforgiving spotlight. It's more like soft, diffused lighting. And guess what? Everyone else is in that same lighting with you. So the next time that little voice in your head whispers, "Everyone's watching me," you can just smile back and tell it, "Maybe, but I'm watching me too." And that's the only opinion that truly matters. Hey, if you enjoy these kinds of real human psychology breakdowns where we get into why our brains do the weird things they do and how we can learn not to let it control us, you already know what to do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and stick around. We're going to unpack a lot more of what goes on inside that brilliant, beautiful, and chaotic mind of yours. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.